Hello everyone, welcome to Talks with Manny, where I am your host Manny, and in today's video we'll be talking about episode 4 of Boruto. Now, before I get into the review of this episode, I'd like to state that this will have heavy spoilers to this episode, and perhaps the series as a whole. So, you've been warned. And now, we're going to get into the review of the episode, but first, I'm going to mention that I am changing up the format of this episode, in particular from the other episodes. I felt like they were too long and drawn out, and I really shouldn't have to go over a plot synopsis of the entirety of the episode, so I'm just going to shorten it down to a couple main plot points and then move on to my thoughts. I feel like this will shorten the episodes and make it a little bit more fun to watch. So, here we go. The episode starts off with Konohamaru teaching Shino's class about the summoning jutsu. He summons Gamagoro, this gigantic toad, and amazes the class with the exception of Boruto. Boruto himself tries to summon a creature but fails. Shino explains to him in the class that Boruto failed because he hadn't signed a contract with a summoned creature. The class soon becomes divided as the girls argue with the boys over what summoning animals should be like, and then over their difference in maturity. Shino and Konohamaru ponder what to do about the constant infighting between the boys and girls of his class. Later that day, the class almost breaks out into another girls vs. boys battle at lunch, but Shino intervenes just in time and instead gives the two sides a way to settle their differences. Shino sets a flag on the roof of the academy and gives both sides the task of capturing it. Whoever wins the argument. He also, unbeknownst to the class, sets traps on the way to the flag and secretly begins assessing each class member's strengths and weaknesses. A few minutes later, and hiding in the test room, Boruto, Shikadai, and Inujin are the only boys left. They come up with a strategy to try to get the flag. Boruto reaches the roof of the academy using shadow clones, and then the girls use paper bombs to blow through the last door. Chocho begins climbing for the flag, while Sarada and the other girls try to distract Boruto. Boruto, using the summoning scroll he stole from the test room they were hiding in earlier, tries to summon a frog to scare the girls. However, a gigantic, massive unknown creature that kind of looks like a snake spews out and attacks Chocho, sending her flying from the rooftop. Boruto jumps out to try to catch her, and Shikadai and Inujin jump out to try to catch him. Konohamaru, luckily, arrives in time to save the rest of the class by hitting the gigantic beast with a Rasengan, defeating it. Sumire silently steals the flag after the commotion is over and wins the match for the girls. Later, Boruto apologizes for putting Chocho's life in danger, prompting the girls to put a rain check on collecting their favor. While everyone prepares to head home, Shino advises that first they need to clean up. However, as the class turns around, the entire academy building crumbles down, leaving Shino and Konohamaru flabbergasted. The episode ends shortly after with a mysterious newcomer looming over the class watching from a distance. And with that out of the way, I can tell you my reaction to this episode upon watching it. Firstly, the episode was actually pretty laid back. There was no really major plot points in this episode. It was kind of just like a for funsies. Minus a gigantic creature that pops up, because that's going to be definitely very important for the later episodes. And a little tiny tidbit of Mitsuki watching over them from the distance because he's kind of creepy and weird at first. Overall, the animation for the episode was pretty good. The fight scenes were nice, and there were plenty of fun moments sprinkled throughout the episode to keep you entertained, so it was a pretty good episode, all in all. We get to see Boruto and Sarada's relationship, or frankly their lack of relationship. Boruto notes that they aren't even friends, and he only knows her because their parents are good friends. So that's already a big blow to Boruto-Sarada shippers. Sorry guys. I was pretty happy to see we finally get to see more of Konohamaru's abilities post 4th Great Shinobi War, so that was pretty cool. His new summoning toad, Gamagoro, pretty cool. I assume he learned this due to some training from Naruto, because Naruto, Minato, and Jiraiya were the only characters we know of that could summon toads, and 2 of them are dead, so it had to be Naruto. Unless he found Mount Miyaboku for some reason, which I sincerely doubt. Oh yeah, when the class is talking about what summoning animals they'd like to summon, Boruto says that he would want to summon a snake, because they're cool and seem strong, which is a pretty nice sneaky point to Sasuke, because spoiler alert, later in the series he ends up mentoring Boruto, so that's pretty cool. There's really only one problem I have with this episode, and it's the fact that no matter what Shino does, he's always getting the short end of the stick because of Boruto's class. Like, honestly, I feel so bad for the guy. He's, like, trying to give them, like, this capture the flag thing, solve their differences, trying to be a good teacher. They wreck the building. He has a kid who crashed a freaking train into the Hokage's stone face. I feel so bad for him, honestly. And Sarada mentions that their class is viewed as the problem class due to almost single-handedly Boruto and his actions, which is a nice little throwback. It's a nice little point to how Naruto's class was viewed back when he was a kid because of his actions. So I guess like father, like son, right? That pretty much wraps up my thoughts on this episode. It was pretty unimportant important, I'll say. Like, there wasn't really much going on here plot-wise that was pushing the plot, other than, Boruto summoning this weird creature and introduction, I guess, of Mitsuki at the end. There was really no plot significance to this episode in reality, so there's not really much to talk about here. That's pretty much all I got for you guys today, so don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't like it, and maybe leave me some constructive criticism down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to watch more content like this in the future. Peace out, guys.